Hey guys, Rival X Factor here with Rival Gaming, and I have a Xfactors Minions update, which was my community challenge. I'm going to link the original video that started this all off, and we've been pretty busy with tournaments, but I had time to grab a couple of the Minions and ask them a couple questions. So these guys have went from random pub guys, pub stompers, to knocking off a lot of the top teams. So I'm pretty proud of the guys, and I want you guys to know what's going through their mind and what they thought of the situation. So here comes an interview, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So Troy, what would you say is the biggest difference from coming from a pub background to getting onto a community team, Xfactors Minions, and knocking off some big guys and surprising some people right out the gate?
It feels pretty good, but just pubbing Battlefield's a big difference from playing competitively. Coming from 1.6, that is playing that for years, but feels pretty good learning from Rival all these strats and being able to put them to use and beating these teams.
What do you think the biggest thing is between the pub play? I mean, is it even close? To give people an idea, is pub play even close to competitive play? Or what do you think the biggest difference is? Is it awareness? Is it worrying about 100 other things just besides yourself? What do you think it is?
Pubbing, you feel like you have to do everything yourself, and it can be slow at times, unless you're in a 64-man server where everything's just flying everywhere. In a competitive environment, it's really quick, fast-paced. There's always something going on. If you not paying attention to one part of the map, you're probably gonna get screwed over. Stuff like that.
So I got Opticon. He made the finals, the Minions. He's one of the starting tankers. And what got you into tanking? You're actually one of the top tankers in the world by kills on the battle log. What's your deal?
Yeah, I'm in the top 100 in the tank. Pretty much it was my go-to vehicle. I absolutely love the canister shell. Pre-patch, it was absolutely amazing. Post-patch, I still love it, but now it's a glass box on wheels, so it kind of changed my gameplay up dramatically.
The good news is some patch notes came out for server patch, and tanks are getting buffed again. I think they're not going to be disabled as easily. How will that change your game style?
If they're not going to be disabled that easily, then I can play a little bit more aggressive, as I used to be. Because right now I got to play extra passive in pubs, competitive. Just totally changed, but hopefully that buff.
I'm sure, one last question for you. In competitive play, people try to get tanks down as quick as possible. You get bombed, don't you? Is that what different than the public servers?
Oh, yeah. It's organized bombing.
Yep, so tanks go poof really quickly.
In a blink of an eye.
So I got HEHEJEFF, and Jeff was another minion that was picked. And what were your expectations? So you made the final 15-16. You're being mentored by Rival Gaming and myself and some other guys who help teach you guys and coach you guys. But what were your expectations? Did you expect to even win a couple matches? Did you expect to knock off top teams? What'd you think?
Alright, so to be honest, my expectations were pretty high to begin with because I've heard a lot about Rival from Bad Company 2 days, but after coming into the first practice, my expectation dropped like severely because I thought like everyone was just doing their own thing. It was pretty random at like the first few practices. But I guess like afterwards when like they put in more time on our team, like they being Cartel and X Factor, we started to like click a lot better and we got more teamwork. We knew kind of what our roles were, and we performed a lot better than what I expected. So, like, I guess overall, this team has been like way beyond what I expected it could have been.
Let me ask you this: when you guys knocked off several top teams. I'm not going to name and shame because we love all these teams. But what was your feeling inside? Like, holy shit, what just happened, or what did it feel like?
Yeah, it was like really exciting the first few times it happened because I thought like, wow, we have like what it takes to kind of compete at a very high level, and that was really exciting. And after a while, it seemed like, I guess I noticed more like the intricacies of these high level players and what we were doing that were helping us to like reach this high level. And so I thought it was like really cool that we were picking these things up.
Yeah,
like so
absolutely.
fast.
And that's one thing that you do is just like any sport, you know your enemy, you know your opponent, and you pick out their little nuances. You know, there's a lot of teams out there. I could tell you their top couple shots. I'll tell you how quickly they're going to re-peak after they disappear. Or I'll tell you how quickly they're going to run around the corner after they know I'm hurt. So that's great that you guys have been doing that. So I'm pretty proud of you guys as an entity, and we'll keep this interview going. Another one of the minions that we have is Boogie Down. And Boogie, what do you think are some of the top things that you've learned from us helping mentor you guys as members of Xfactors Minions and a player in the competitive world?
I think the biggest thing I learned is how to maneuver better around the map. Like in pubbing, you can just run and gun pretty much and just get a rack of kills. But in comp play, you have to know your spot, play your role, and just stay in communication with the team.
So what you're saying basically is in pubs you can be a Rambo pub star, but if you take that same methodology and apply it to competitive play, you can get smashed, right? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, totally. In pubs, like sometimes I just run Magnum only. If I do that in competitive, there's no way I'll get stomped on.
Perfect. What's besides those little things that help you defer or differentiate the pub stomping between the competitive play, what's your favorite assault kit and setup right now?
I've been choosing different weapons lately. It's situational on the map, but my to-go gun is the M16. But I've been trying new stuff like the F2000. It works pretty well on small maps like Metro and Grand Bazaar. But I'm still testing new weapons. But for now, my to-go gun is still the M16.
So, Big Mac, after you heard about the Rival X Factor 8v8 Conquest Community Challenge on YouTube, what were your first thought processes and what made you come to our forums and sign up?
Well, I thought I'd done pretty well in pubs, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to learn from the best in the business, put myself up to a new challenge, and see if I could come through.
And how's that fared so far for you, Big Mac?
You know, I think I've been growing as a player. My shot's gotten a lot better, and I'm pretty happy so far.
So, Troy, out the gate, we kind of tapped you on the shoulder because you were one of the better shots, and we needed somebody to run the team from within because obviously myself can't compete because Rival is competing in Gigabyte and Alienware and all this other stuff. So, what's your perception? Can you take 8 guys with insane shots, and are they going to make a great team? Or what does it take to really develop into a top team? Because it's more than just having a shot.
Yeah, if you have 8 guys that have ridiculous shots just running around the map doing nothing, you're going nowhere. Like, you need people that are communicating, talking to each other all the time. Over the time we've been scrimming, we've gelled together pretty well. Learned each other's voices is a big thing, knowing who's talking, know what's coming where, and where people are playing and stuff like that.
So what you're saying is having vocal teammates is very important.
Very.
So if somebody dies, you expect them to say something.
Yeah, I expect them to call it out. So, let's say or something over on the highway side, our guys get wiped. That has a chance for the enemy team to push our gimme or back ridge us in B if we have B or something like that. So we'll send guys over to rotate. One guy just take a look, see what's going on. If you can get the kills, that's great.
Would you say communication is right up there with talent when it comes to level of importance for a team?
I'd say communication is more important than talent if you're a starting team. If you're at a top level team, you need the gun skills and the communication, because if you can't frag, you can't really cap flags or anything like that. One
thing that Rival has been labeled as is, you know, we have been a top team in North America for years, but one thing that a lot of the guys like Dasgrove 20ID will say about us, and he's right, we're not the best at any one thing. We don't have the best tank driver. We don't have the best shot in the game. We don't have the best of anything. But our communication, our teamwork, and our cohesion as a unit is better than anybody else. So for any team trying to start up, I'd highly recommend getting a team that can gel together. If a guy's got a great shot but can't communicate or can't work on the team level, find somebody else because he's not going to do you any good. So real quickly, you guys, obviously, scrimmed us a lot. We coached you guys, showed you guys how to play roles. How was the relationship between us and you guys? Was it like big brother or dad coming down on you hard, breaking you down and building you back up? I mean, what were your first reactions when Cartel came in and opened up a can of worms or went off?
Didn't really feel like that dad that was trying to live his dreams through us to make us the best BF3 players in a sense. But we just looked at it as a way of, as a guidance and trying to use his words or showing us what we're supposed to be doing, or in a sense what we can build around, like a strat or something, and be flexible around it, learn to adapt.
Yeah, realize your guys' potential. Jeff, what was, with that in mind, what was one of the biggest things that Cartel or another member of Rival helped you or told you that stuck in your head?
I mean, like off the top of my head, I guess the most important thing we learned was not to peek when we had the burn. That, like, Cartel just screamed it as if it was something so obvious that everyone just should have known, like, right at birth, that, like, it was kind of strange not to have been doing it all this time.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because there's so many idiosyncrasies that people don't think about this in the game that separate the men from the boys. So now I bet you that's in the back of your mind every time you approach a flag.
Yeah, every time I hear Cartel's voice in the background.
So when it comes time for match time, every player's got their own strengths and weaknesses. They can pilot this, they can't pilot that, or they're like me. If you put me behind the stick of a helicopter, everybody on the team's going to die miraculously. How do you envision and how do you go about filling out that roster?
Well, we take a look at who's good at what. Obviously, Opticon, he's our tanker, he's our go-to tanker. Brett, he gets to duck behind Opti all the time, but he's our second string tanker, and he'll if there's two tanks on the map, he'll pick that up.
So Karkand or Turan or a couple of the other maps, right?
Yeah, like Canals, where we need two tanks. Pilot, which is Blueprint, and he's a ridiculous pilot.
Yeah, he's actually really scary.
I wouldn't want to place him.
No. So with that being in mind, is it fair to say you put your aces in their places?
Pretty much. It's when we're scrimming, we'll take a look at who's playing best that week and who's not playing the greatest, and we'll take those players. That's mostly infantry, though.
So, John, tell me about nerves. When you were trying out for the Minions and the pressure cooker was on, did the nerves kick in? Do they still kick in now? How do you deal with it?
I mean, when I was in line for that match, I was thinking to myself, like, hey, I got this. I'm a decent shot. I know how to handle my gun. And then when my turn was up, I peeked that corner and I got my head blown off. It was like an oh shit moment. And that happened to me about 3 times. I died the first 3 attempts. I just instantly died. And it's pretty nerve-wracking.
And what do you do to counter those nerves now? Are they still here? Or because you guys have knocked off some of the top teams and you're winning stuff, are they a little bit more at bay? And what do you advise to people who get the nerves?
I mean, when you're in the moment, you just gotta slow down. You gotta collect yourself. You just gotta control yourself. Just realize, hey, these guys aren't amazing. It's not like they're using aimbots or anything. They make mistakes too. Just get your shit together and go out there and do your thing.
Awesome. Thanks again.
All right.
So with everything that's happened with you guys, all the shit that you've been through, us beating up on you, us tormenting you, with everything you've learned, knowing where you've come from and where you're at now, Big Mac, would you do this again?
Oh, for sure. The experience has been great. It's been allowed me to take my Battlefield play to the next level. Pub stomping gets old after a while, and competition's fun.
Boogie, how about you?
Oh yeah, totally. It's a different beast between pub and comp play, and yeah, I think it's totally worth it. I would do it again.
It's kind of addictive, isn't it?
It really is. It's just every scrim is so different from the previous one. It's just you learn something and you got to play different every time. It's great.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this community challenge, the Rival Xfactors Minions. You guys have exceeded my expectations. My whole point of this was to help get people into competitive play. I said to myself, hey, if these guys become a top 10 team, this will be great. Well, you've knocked off some of the top teams in the game. So I think you are considered a threat every time you face a top 3 or 4 team. So congrats to you guys, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So obviously, with us being your mentor, your big brother, we scrim you guys a lot. Have you guys beaten us yet? Do you look forward to the day? Do you get motivated? I mean, tell me about that, because I know the moment's going to come one of these days.
You guys are great motivation because, you kick our teeth in, especially on a new map, and but then you break it down for us and tell us where we made our mistakes and how we can improve. And it's really helpful, even when we're losing. I try not to get discouraged because there's something to learn from it. And the prospects of hopefully beating you guys someday, which has not happened yet, is really great motivation. And
let me ask you this. If and when that day comes, are you guys going to all fly out to Vegas and blow it all in coke and strippers and booze?
Personally, I'm going to look at the video and see where we can improve even more, because I'm in this to, become a really good team for the long haul. And I'm not just going to settle for one victory against you guys, because that doesn't prove anything. Awesome
attitude. That's the way to do it. There's so many teams that have disappeared off the face of the earth because they don't want to put in the effort. They want to win now. Well, Rival's own background is years ago, we weren't a top team. We struggled for a couple months before we started knocking off teams. But with determination, which a lot of people don't have anymore, with respect for yourself, pride, honor, all this stuff, you guys could become a lasting name in this game. And I'll make you guys a deal right now. If and when you guys beat us, and I hope you do, you'll get renamed. You won't be Xfactors Minions anymore. I'll let you guys pick your name. Fair enough?
It fits one round.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So good luck to you guys. Thank you so much for the interview. And these guys also have YouTube channels. I'm going to throw some links down here. They've got tons of scrim footage. They've got tons of stuff from a couple of the episodes where we help them, and maybe some words of wisdom from the cartel or myself or another rival guy. So please check out their other channels. And don't forget to like this video and comment on it, guys. Appreciate your time.